Hey guys, welcome to Foundry Demo Day, August 27th now. We're just going to demo two things pretty quickly. Chris is going to demo the DEEF dashboard that we're developing. Still not quite done, but getting pretty close now. And then I'm going to show off the progress on Foundry governance, which will be deployed on, well, it's currently deployed on Matic, but still sort of in a testing mode right now. But yeah, go ahead, take it away, Chris.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that the dashboard is actually now turned into some actual working components. Obviously, about 2 weeks ago, it was just designs that we showed the community, but this is now an actual working dashboard. So unfortunately, we found a very big bug with the deposit withdrawal section this morning, so we couldn't get this merged to master. But I'll just show it on here. Let me just actually see whether the dashboard. I want to show this deposit withdrawal section. Okay, wait, it's the same one. 103, 107. Just want to find that branch. Okay, I don't want to spend time on it, but the only thing I wanted to say is we did add the ability to actually have this as an input field where you can type in. Obviously on this interface, you can only click plus and minus. I'm just not finding the correct interface here now, but you can click plus and minus on either deposit or withdraw, and then it recalculates the fees. And it also shows you how much DEEF is redeemable. And then we've got a wallet connect functionality, so you can actually connect your wallet to the page. And it can already interact with the contract. There's just unfortunately a bug with depositing or withdrawing that we first have to fix before we can actually merge this to master. And then this section is also new. So what we'll do here is when a new user comes along and says, cool, I've got 10 ETH, the market goes by whatever percentage they want to specify here. So we're working on putting in the actual values over here. So currently it just shows the same values for both. But obviously with the actual calculations, what it will do is it will say, okay, cool, you put in 10 ETH, the market goes up by 2%, you'll have that amount of ETH. Or if the market goes down by 52%, you'll have that amount of ETH. So very important functionality to have on the DEEF dashboard to actually get people to use it and understand the main upside. So yeah, I really like the animation that we have. It's very smooth, works really well. And yeah, that's it for the DEEF dashboard. Then just one other thing I want to mention about Leverly and this generic long short pair that Skulk is building the contract for in the background. We're actually already starting with the marketing planning and our website and the copy and the content. We've decided to focus more on the generic pair as opposed to DEEF, just because the ETH2X thing is already on token set, so we don't want to focus too much on something that we have very strong competition for. So we're going to put a lot of focus on this generic long short pair thing, which we'll call Leverly. And this exact dashboard will also be used for that. Obviously, depending on the token you select, this will change. But the idea is that we'll have something very similar to Uniswap, where you say, cool, I put in this token and I long or short against this token. This is my collateral percentage or whatever. We'll bring those elements into this dashboard. So even though we're not going to push this dashboard too much for these right now, we'll definitely use this for Leverly just by adding some additional components. And yeah, then another thing about the Leverly dates that we're currently looking at, Skulk and them are working on the contract and the planning of Leverly and figuring out all the mathematics and calculations around it and getting audits and stuff. And then we're working on the front end, the website, the marketing strategy, and all of that kind of stuff. So altogether, we really want to launch this by the end of the year. So we sort of have this December date in mind to at least launch version 2 of these, which is Leverly. And yeah, we'll be working towards that as we go along in the next few months. Yeah, I think that's pretty much an update from my side. Logan, I'll hand over over to you for governance.
Cool. All right. Well, so yeah, governance. You know, it's not. We haven't really tried to make it too pretty, but the functionality we got to some good functionality pretty quick. The main thing that I'm just going to show off now is that we can create a die proposal, and that it shows up as a die proposal. So let's say I'm going to send to. I'm going to make a new account here, and copy this guy's address. So we can see there's 0 Matic and 0 die. Go back to my first account here, but paste in so I want to send to my second address. I'm going to send 1 die. You can put a description, blah, blah. And great, you can see I have voting power of 50%. So if I had 0%, I wouldn't be able to do this, obviously. But let me just create a proposal here.
How much voting percent you need to create a proposal?
I'm actually not sure. I haven't looked at it, but I mean, we can tweak that stuff when we deploy the final version. We just let everything default that we could. Let me just make this 10. The Matic network has been slow lately. Okay, so transaction pending.
It's never slow. It only gets expensive.
Well, and maybe you haven't been using Matic lately. If you don't go and change the gas, it can be slow. Okay, so that seemed to work. So if I go to now view proposals, I may need to refresh. Let's see. I should have waited, actually. I bet it would have loaded. It's not showing yet.
As of mine.
It seems to have mined. Demo day.
Demon Day.
That's what the 2D stand for.
There it is.
There we go.
So we have a lot of these settings set quite low, so the voting period is only a few minutes, but I will upvote this, which will be another transaction here, and this will put my voting power in favor. And again, it's the transaction pending. Oh, and the main thing to point out now, it's not emphasized here very well, but the point is that this interface detects that this is a die payment proposal specifically, as opposed to something like this, where it's just some arbitrary bytecode that we don't really know what it does. And that just got mined. I think this will update in a second.
Are you going to include the descriptions here? I'm assuming so.
Yeah. In fact, oh yeah, the description's right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
placed oddly, but okay, there you go. In favor, five, lots of 5 zeros. That's obviously just the uint output. But yes, and then in a moment, the status will change to ready to queue. Just gonna wait a few minutes here. Expiry block. So that's 2247. Let's go to Matic Explorer. We are at 2217. So
Obviously, in real world scenario, when you're creating a proposal like this, you'll sometimes wait weeks or months to get it through the whole process within a company. So the fact that we're able to sit here and wait about 5 minutes to get the entire proposal through the governance is still very impressive.
yeah, well, I mean, we will have to change that to something longer. I think typically, so this is compound governance, so you'd want this voting period to be at least a day, maybe 3 days.
Yes.
And then another thing we've changed is, you'll see in a moment once this gets there, we're getting close now. There's a time lock that's basically just set to 1 second for the moment, and that's another thing, so that there'll be a voting period, and then even after it's executed, there's a time lock period where the thing, even though it's been passed and queued, it has to wait. Okay, there we go. So status, my buttons went away. It still says active. Let me see, refreshing gives me the button that I want to see.
Just to check, is it on this branch? You're currently on master.
Yeah, everything should be working on this branch. There we go, add proposal to queue. So I'm not sure why that wasn't really synced up, but this will add it to the time lock. Sorry, this is not the most exciting demo. Okay, confirmed.
That's
Now if
pretty
I
cool though.
refresh,
I mean,
I think it's really cool.
and then
We're delivering on our biggest promise. That's to
Yeah,
give
that's
community
true.
governance.
so status is queued now. Execute proposal. So obviously, if this was longer than 1 second, it would say it's queued, and we wouldn't be able to execute yet, but we can indeed execute and confirm. And now, as we watch my second account here, let's go quickly. Just dismiss that assets. So basically, when this pending goes away, we should see pretty quick 2 die show up here.
do you have die added as an asset type to this account?
I think it, so far I've seen this pick it up automatically, although I don't know if it'll update this live.
Automatically.
Logan, click there on the dots
Yeah,
and then click, yeah. Well,
Okay,
not
yeah,
that,
there's a-
it just,
well, you can see it move anyway. There's the 1 die. You can go to token. So there's the die just received. You can see 33 seconds ago. If we look at where this came from, it is it's the treasury contract forwarder, which, well, it's the forwarder is what we call the contract type, but we also call it the treasury when we're using it in this way. So yeah, everything is working there. We can have in compound governance, we can have regular users propose die payments as well as see the die payments. And obviously we will be designing this at least a little bit to make that more obvious. But yeah, that's great. So that means that at least the interface is functional and complete. We still need to now deploy the contracts more carefully. But we're really close to having a basic governance out. And that's a huge relief. It increases our bus factor by a lot. And then it means that Foundry is it's more autonomous. Well, once we actually fully deploy it and send some treasury funds to it. But yeah, I think that's all the demo. I mean, you can delegate as well, but I've demoed that I think last time. This current account I'm using, it doesn't actually have any of these tokens. It's just been delegated to by another account. But yeah, that's it for the demos. I was going to talk a bit about the NFT thing, but I almost just want to keep it under wraps and just talk more about it when we actually have something to show.
Cool.
makes
Cool.
sense.
All right, anything else from you guys?
Alrighty.
Then? Shall we end it?
We shall end the recording, yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
Bye, Friars. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend.
Bye, Friars.